Hey guys, myself Raghav Ganesh and we are back with Intro to Machine Learning series by IST. Today we'll be going ahead with Introduction to Clustering Algorithms. So, clustering in general is a technique that most of the humans do in their life. You will find countless examples of clustering around you. For example, in a college, a group of people sharing same table in a canteen, or like when you visit big bazaar or any shopping complex where you see similar items such as different types of vegetables or biscuits are like they're displayed in same or nearby location. So let's move on and understand more about clustering in detail because it's very important that we know what clustering means before we dive deeper. What exactly is clustering? In simpler words, clustering is nothing but creating different groups. The groups consist of similar things. To put it in a definition kind of thing, we can define clustering as a process of dividing the data sets into groups consisting of similar data points. The point within one cluster is as similar as possible, whereas the point belonging to other clusters are completely different from the points in the first cluster. And also, clustering is often referred as an unsupervised learning technique. So in this example, we can see that there's a raw data and we are feeding this into a clustering algorithm and we expect that the clustering algorithm divides the raw data into different clusters. In this example, we can see the clustering algorithm like dividing the raw data into blue clusters, yellow clusters, red clusters, and so on. This is known as clustering. What is the use of clustering and where is it used? Let's take this analogy to understand this. So, in my introduction part, as I said, that a group of students sitting in a canteen as an example of clustering. Let me tell you how you can connect that with the definition of clustering. Like suppose there are two tables in canteen, T1 and T2, and T1 refers to the group of people sitting on the table. They might be related to each other, and like they might be group of friends or from the same class. So even people sitting on table T2, they are also connected with each other, but only two people sitting in table T2. But when it comes to comparing the people sitting on table T1 and table T2, we'll see that they are entirely different or like not all are related with each other. So clustering is also done in a same way. What is it? It's that the data points within one cluster is entirely different from the data points of other cluster. And all the points of the same cluster are as similar as possible or like they are related to each other. Next was the items arranged in a mall. Or remember when you visit more mega store or big bazaar or any retail store, you would find that similar items that are grouped together for you. It's not like all the items are just placed anywhere randomly. They don't mix each other. So they don't you won't be seeing they mixing fruits in an and vegetable section. You won't find that apples and potatoes are mixed. So what exactly do they do? They create groups and cluster of items for you so that you can easily shop. It's like the same variety of apples are placed in one place, while other varieties of apples are placed in another place. And you won't be able like you won't be seeing mix of like red and green apples, correct? So this is called clustering. Now where is it used? It is used in recommendation. Yes, even the Netflix or Prime videos, the recommendations you get, like the movie recommendations, is based on your watch history, right? So whatever you have watched, it will show you some similar movies related to it. So all right. So how do you think like these are the recommended list are generated? Well, all the concept lies behind this clustering. In general, you can say that clustering can be used to segment the customers or market and marketing. It can be used by the social network sites and marketing new groups based on user data. Alright, so let's move on and see how business is using clustering. Well, clustering can help the business to manage their data better. Generally, they use clustering for image segmentation, grouping, web pages, market segmentation, and information retrieval. For example, take a retail business. The data classes help in analyzing the customer's shopping behavior, sales campaigns, and also customer retention. And if we take in case of insurance company, clustering is deployed in the field of fraud detection, this factor identification, and also the customer retention efforts. While in the case of banking sector, you can see that it is used for customer segmentation, credit scoring, and also analyzing customer profitability. So this is exactly how clustering is used in various businesses. All right, let's move ahead. Let's see what are the different types of clustering. So there are mainly three types of clustering: exclusive clustering, overlapping clustering, and hierarchical clustering. Let's start with exclusive clustering. Exclusive clustering is also known as hard clustering. Like the data points or items belong exclusively to one cluster. So in this example, the data points within the red circle, that is red square, all the red squares belong to red circle itself. You don't see a mix of red squares and green triangles. So all the data points, they belong exclusively to one cluster. All the red squares to the red cluster and all the green triangles to the green cluster. An example of exclusive clustering would be k-means clustering, which we would be looking like later. You might have a better understanding in upcoming slides. So next is overlapping clustering. Overlapping clustering is also known as soft clustering. Like the data points may or like it belongs to multiple clusters. So you can see that in the previous example, all the red squares were there in red cluster and green triangles in green cluster. What if some data points are there in both red as well as green cluster? In this case, you can see blue pentagons like being part of multiple clusters. So this is an overlapping clustering scenario. And examples for overlapping clustering would be fuzzy clustering or C-means clustering. Next is hierarchical clustering. So in this example, we can see that take points A, B, C, D, E, and F are like 6 different data points. Now, like suppose say that A and B are like are related to each other, like they are similar. So we are grouping A and B as one cluster, and similarly D and E are related to each other. So we are grouping A comma B and D comma E. Now a combination of A and B, this cluster is similar to C. So a combination of A and B is combined with C. We can see it over here. And similarly a combination of D comma E, this cluster is similar to F. So we group based on this. This is known as hierarchical clustering. And the tree-like structure which you draw is also known as dendrograms. So next we move on to types of cluster analysis. So there are mainly 4 types of cluster analysis: centroid clustering, density clustering, distribution clustering, and connectivity clustering. Now let's look into how each of the clustering analysis work. So first, centroid clustering. So in centroid based clustering, clusters are represented by a central vector, which may or may not necessarily be a member of the data set. So this X mark may not be a member of the data set. So when the number of clusters is fixed to k, k-means clustering gives a formal definition for the optimization problem. Like find the k cluster centers and assign like the objects of to the nearest cluster center such that the squared distance from each cluster is minimized. So let's look into k-means clustering a bit later on. And the clustering, so centroid clustering is basically a clustering algorithm which works on centroids. So all the data points are grouped based on this X mark or the centroid of each cluster. So next is density clustering. In density clustering, clusters are defined as areas of higher density than the remainder of the dataset. So let's take this point and we find say n, like n nearest neighbors for each point. And for each n nearest neighbors, we find n more nearest neighbors. Suppose we take this point, suppose we say we take this extreme point, we find like 5 nearest neighbors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And for all the 5 nearest neighbors, we find 5 more nearest neighbors and we expand the chain. And using this, we do the clustering. So if you retrace the clustering path, you can see that the orange one is a one cluster and the blue is another cluster. So next, let's move on to distribution clustering. So distribution clustering algorithm, it basically works, or this analysis works like, suppose say my pointer is some data point. So this data point, I find the distance, or like I draw for every cluster, I draw with a fixed radii or with a density based circles. So I find the pointer, or I find the data point which is more closer to the to the red, blue or yellow cluster and do the clustering. So I form the groups based on the closest distance or the most nearest circle. So if the if the data point is, or the objects belonging are to the same distribution level, so they are they are grouped as one cluster. Next is connectivity clustering. Connectivity based clustering is also known as the hierarchical clustering, which we had discussed before. So the basic idea is like the dendrogram one. So we group A comma B and we find this cluster, the combination of A and B data set, that cluster is similar to another data point. So we group that as one big whole cluster. So if we take this extreme left hand as A and the next one as B, so A, B is together, like A, B as a whole, or this cluster is similar to say another point C, and that is how the linking or like connectivity clustering analysis work. So this is a complex version, or if you break this down, we can see that for each data point, we can see like the combination of 2 points is similar to another data point, and similarly we keep grouping them, or also known as the hierarchical clustering, which as the name suggests. So this is what the four different clustering analysis works. So let's call it for the session, and in the next session we'll look into how k-means algorithm works and what exactly is k-means algorithm and an implementation of k-means algorithm. Thank you.